It is impossible to grasp that 1 year has passed since the day that changed us all and changed the world. It is impossible to accept that there are still 101 hostages held captive by Hamas, and that the world is cheering on the regimes of terror because of their sheer and shared hatred of Jews and the Jewish state. It is impossible to understand campuses, schools, and businesses allowing hate fests on the anniversary of the October 7th massacre, which would never have been allowed for any other terror attack in history, except that the victims were Jews and other citizens of Israel. It is impossible to accept that we continue to be held to a double standard. It is impossible even to understand how rabbis could use their pulpit on Rosh Hashanah to spew hate and lies about our Jewish state, our soldiers, our rights, and our fight for freedom, for political gain, or increased division when we need our unity more than ever. Even the taking out of another round of ballistic missiles from Iran, this time on the night before Rosh Hashanah, shows that Ben-Gurion and every leader throughout our history was right. To be a realist in Israel, one must believe in miracles. Because we know, as Jews, that we must believe that even the impossible is possible. This new year, it feels like even more of a challenge to think of renewal and redemption. Yet the concept of our teshuva, our return, has perhaps never been more poignant. Return to the land, return to our people, to our identity, to our destiny. Because as we enter this new calendar year for our nation, we come face to face with the essential elements of our existence. Our faith, our connection, our hope, our belonging, they are all tested and tried, and we are rediscovering ourselves. After the destruction of our temple and the exile from our homeland, the new year became even more instrumental to our worship and extension of our faith while living as strangers in strange lands. The source of our soul was far away, geographically and spiritually. The holiday prayers and our festive tables became the place where we could pour out our inner selves among the people who loved us and who understood the empty feeling left by the void of space and time. Jerusalem was far away. Our sovereign rights and ancestral home had been destroyed. What we call Zionism today is but an extension of that same longing, that thread of connection that nothing could sever. With our aching hearts, we now understand. What we accept as our blessing, our curse, our fate, is shared with those who could never imagine that there would be a free, modern state renewed in our Jewish, indigenous, and ancestral land. We honor memory of the distant and recent past just the same as we surpass this 1 year since the October 7th massacre. And we still remain resolute in spite of the pain and the evil that threatens us. No Amalek, no enemy, no comfortable lifestyle, no degree of assimilation or disconnect from Torah, from tefillah, from community and public identity as a Jew. Nothing has truly broken our bond. And no modern movement of nihilistic fascism or socially acceptable Jew hatred will succeed either. The hate movements growing around us today are but a reminder of just how true our history shows itself to be time and time again. And the lives we live as Jews today share much in common with the generations before us, the tests, the obstacles, the hope and the despair, the dreams and the disillusionment. To survive them all, we have to seek the blessings. We have to appreciate the bounty of our lives as Jews, with our Judaism and with our Jewish ancestral past. We must challenge ourselves to hear Hashem and to inherit the internal and bestowed purpose of our existence, however challenging that path might be. When we gather in our synagogues or when we come together to pray, either on these holy days or at our October 7th memorial programs, perhaps there will be new faces, new interest, new desire for the connection that we long for, the unity we dream of. And it is essential to achieve this by recognizing the lessons that October 7th holds for each one of us. We are living in a post-October 7th world, and we can never return back to the illusion and facade of a peace and peace partners, of a society that willingly accepted us. No, instead we are reminded that wherever we live, we will be strangers in a strange land. And we can continue that existence as long as we remember where home is for every Jew of every walk of life, every type of practice and political leaning. Israel is what will allow us to overcome the tragedies of the past and translate them into successes of the future. October 7th shall never be forgotten. And who we have become since October 7th shall never be taken for granted. Let us work together to find new ways to remember what it means to be Israel and to sustain the future of Israel today, tomorrow, and forever, for the sake of those murdered on October 7th, and for the sake of those in every generation who has suffered this terror, this threat of the genocide of the Jewish people. But here in our homeland, we will not let those threats stand. We will continue to fight, and we will continue to find every avenue through which we can make a greater impact, not only on our own selves, and not only on tikkun olam, but rather on our children and their children, and the future of what it means to know that in the aftermath of October 7th, we became the Jews who will forever fight for Jewish rights. And we must translate this and transmit this obligation to the future generations so that we can hear the echoes of those who suffered throughout every era and know that we are living that shared destiny with them today. However you are observing your October 7th memorial, we hope that you are finding connection within yourself and that you can express something with friends, family, colleagues, or even on your own. Make your kalanit forever flower. Send your prayers to the heavens and know that your voice will always matter because we are all Israel and we all carry October 7th deep in our heart with all of its victims, the hostages that remain, the bereaved families, those of the fallen soldiers, those of the victims of terror attacks happening all the time since October 7th. And we join our hearts with theirs. Today, tomorrow, and forever. We are one. May our memory carry us to new sources of strength.